This is the second in a series of videos I'm making about social anxiety disorder. In the last video we looked at how negative thoughts drive feelings of anxiety, physical symptoms and avoidance behaviours. In this video we're going to look at some tools for countering these negative thoughts so that they don't have such a powerful effect. People with social anxiety are very prone to cognitive distortions or thinking errors. In CBT you'll learn to identify the types of thinking errors to help prevent you falling victim to them. In social anxiety, the most common types are generalization, all or nothing thinking, mind reading, and filtering. There are others, but I will give you a link later where you can find more information on them. Let's start with generalization. Often people with social anxiety will form a general conclusion based on a single incident or a single piece of evidence from a past negative experience. If something bad has happened in the past, they expect it to happen over and over again. Watch out for general words like people, they, everybody. For example, people don't like introverts. They will laugh at me. Everybody will notice that I'm nervous. Next is all or nothing thinking only in absolutes. Watch out for words like always, never, impossible, disaster, perfect. Let's have a look at some examples of these words. People always laugh if you make a mistake, whereas the reality is some people will laugh at some mistakes. I could never be great at making conversation. Never say never. Anything's possible with learning. But why do you need to be great? Most people are average at making conversation. Here's an example of perfect. You have to give a perfect interview to get a job. Well, I've had interviews that were far from perfect, but I still got the job. Next is mind reading. Thinking we know what other people are thinking or what their motives are. Due to previous bad experiences of a few judgmental people, you might assume everyone else is judging you negatively also. But in reality, most people are preoccupied with their own lives and are probably not forming a judgment either way. And even if they are forming an opinion of you, they may be thinking something very different to what you believe they are thinking. People with social anxiety are usually their own biggest critic. Filtering is filtering out the positive and focusing on the negative. Negative memories stay strong in the mind because they have emotions attached to them. This can make it easy to forget positive experiences and only focus on the negative ones. In this example, Amanda has filtered out the great contribution she made at quiz night, but focusing instead on the one question that she got wrong. Practice spotting and categorizing your thinking errors over the next few weeks. It doesn't matter if you get them right or wrong. The exercise will make you more aware of the thinking errors that drive your social anxiety. Once you've got used to spotting your thinking errors, now it's time to counter them. We do this by putting your thoughts on trial, just like in a court of law. In a court, the judge looks at the evidence for and the evidence against in order to reach a fair judgment. People with social anxiety are very good at finding evidence for their negative thoughts, but not so good at finding evidence against it. So here are some tips. Ask yourself what a trusted friend might say. What might you advise to someone else who was thinking this? Ask yourself, is my evidence for based on assumptions from bad experiences long ago, or is it based on something that is actually happening now? Let's look at an example. Amanda went on a first date with Adam, but the next day she kept getting the thought that because she did not say much, she ruined the date, and Adam will not want to see her again. The evidence for is that she was quiet because she was so nervous. When she really tries to think about the evidence against, she remembers that Adam asked to see her again. Once you have considered the evidence, try to write down a balanced thought statement. The best way to construct this is to start with the word although. Then write down your evidence for the negative thought. Then write down the word actually, followed by the evidence against. These two words will help in most cases, but substitute whatever words fit the sentence. The important thing is that a balanced thought acknowledges both the evidence for and the evidence against. Now create a thought record. A simple one looks like this, but I will give you a link to templates on the internet if you don't want to create your own. Amanda's negative thought was that she ruined last night by being so quiet, and Adam will not want to see her again. She decided that the thinking error type was probably mind reading or filtering, because she has guessed what he was thinking and filtered out the fact that he actually wants to see her again, only focusing on the fact that she was quiet and nervous. The evidence for was that she did indeed say very little because she was so nervous. The evidence against was that he asked to see her again. She made a balanced thought statement, including the evidence for and evidence against, and she came up with, although I was quiet because I was nervous, actually, Adam still wanted to see me again. Note how she has used the words although and actually to help her structure a balanced statement. Try this exercise over the next few months when you have negative thoughts that are making you feel down or anxious. Here are some web pages I found that will help. I will post clickable links in the comments below. The first one helps you identify thinking error types. The second one has a template for putting your thoughts on trial. It has a few extra columns that cover emotions also, but it's the same principles that I have shown you. These tools deal with the cognitive or thinking part of cognitive behavioural therapy, but another important part of CBT is behaviours, and I will cover social anxiety avoidance behaviours in my next video, so make sure you subscribe. But also, please like and share my videos so that others with social anxiety can learn how CBT can help reduce social anxiety symptoms. The key to beating anxiety disorders is knowledge. Let's share that knowledge.